This is Appalachian Television Omni Media, improving America. 3:04, local Wasteland time. You're listening to Midnight in the Wasteland, and I'm Nightwatch. There are towns out here you never find on the map, not because they're gone, but because they never really were. This story is all about one of those places. A place the traders call the Well House. They say it sits in the center of a flat, quiet plain, halfway between what used to be Lewisburg and the empty reach of Route 63. No walls, no fences, just a circle of old prefab homes and one stone well sunk deep into the shale. Every night at dusk, the people gather around it. 15, maybe 20 of them. They light candles, they sit in silence, and they listen. The first time I heard about it, I thought it was just another wasteland superstition, a story to fill in the time between storms. Then someone brought me proof. A scrap of torn notebook paper. On it, written in a careful hand. Tonight, it whispered again. Said my name wrong, but close enough. They say the well used to be part of an old research station, back when the Department of Energy was testing groundwater recovery pumps. The bunker was dismantled, the test site forgotten, but the well stayed. And something in it began to echo. At first, just wind. Then voices. Fragments of words carried up from below, sometimes soft, sometimes so loud the candles flickered sideways. No one knows how deep it goes. Someone dropped the bolt once and counted nearly a full minute before hearing it hit. Others say they never heard the impact at all. A woman named Marla Dempsey, one of the first settlers there, said she found the place by accident. She was following an old power line, looking for copper. Heard what she thought was a radio playing through a storm drain. Then she found the well and leaned over and listened. Said the air rose up cold and steady. Said it sounded like the wind at first, then like breath, then like someone praying underwater. She went back the next night with a lantern. Listened again. Different words this time. She couldn't make them out, but the tone was unmistakable. It was speaking to her. Word spread. People came from all over, from Flatwoods, Summersville, Point Pleasant, not looking for treasure, just meaning. They built small houses from scavenged paneling. Set a ring of candles around the well every night. Each person claimed they heard something different. One man said he heard a lullaby his mother used to hum. Another swore he heard the laughter of a child he lost before the war. One woman said it called her by name and asked her to sing back. They did. Together. That's how the ritual began. A scav I know, who goes by the name Penn, spent 3 nights there last winter. He said the first night was calm. The wind was low. The people quiet. Someone passed around mugs of warm tea, and an old man read aloud from a pre-war field manual. Something about camouflage and covert listening posts. Then midnight, the air changed. The candles bent inward, and the well began to hum. Not loud, just enough to make your ribs feel like tuning forks. Penn said it felt like being noticed. He asked one of the locals what they thought it was. The woman smiled like it wasn't the first time she'd heard that question. She said, "We don't think, we listen." He pressed her, asked if she believed it was ghosts, or machines, or echoes. She shrugged. Sermons, secrets, sins. The difference doesn't matter much. If the wind talks, we answer. He said they spoke to it in shifts. like they were taking turns in a conversation no one could quite hear. Someone would lean over the well and whisper, tell it their story, their loss, their dream, then step back and let the next person take a turn. They called it paying the echo forward. When Penn left the third night, he said he couldn't shake the sound. It followed him up the road, through the trees, all the way to the ridge above the valley. Said he turned around once and saw the candle still burning, a small, trembling circle of light in the middle of a plain that didn't deserve it. He swore he heard the last word carried on by the wind behind him say, stay. Others who visited tell similar stories. Some leave gifts, coins, ribbons, letters sealed in wax. One old woman brings clean water every morning, pours it down the well as an offering, says the sound grows sweeter when it's tended to. Once in a while, someone disappears. No one panics. They say the well kept them, that they became part of the voice below. It's not a threat. It's a kind of trust. I asked the man who lived there 6 years what he believed. He said, it doesn't matter what we believe. The well listens. That's enough. He looked down at his hands, grimed, and cracked from work. He says every night he tells it what he built that day. How many boards, how many nails, how much sky he saw before the dark. Said it helps him sleep. A few months ago, a Brotherhood recon team passed through the area. They logged the site, took samples, and recommended an immediate quarantine. Said the air around the well carried high traces of electromagnetism. Said it would be an old relay tower buried deep, still sputtering in cycles. They fenced it off, tore down the candles, told the settlers to move on. The settlers didn't fight. They just waited until the patrol left, then built new candles out of glass bottles and cooking oil. By the next evening, they were gathered again, listening. You can still see them if you pass through that stretch of road after the dark. A ring of light in the middle of nowhere, flickering, patient, devout. The sound rises and falls. Not words, but something that wants to be. Maybe it's the wind. Maybe it's the ghost of every person who's ever leaned close and told the wasteland a secret. Maybe it's just what happens when people decide silence shouldn't win. Some say if you listen long enough, you'll start to hear your own name, spoken the way you wish it had been said. If that ever happens to you, don't be afraid. It means the wasteland remembers you were here. Some people build walls. Some build shrines. These folks build a place to listen, and maybe that's the most human thing left. You've been listening to Midnight in the Wasteland, and I'm Nightwatch. Still here, still listening. If you pass the plane west of Route 63, leave a candle if you can. They'll know what it means. Until tomorrow, keep the quiet kind and listen for the well.